Have you ever paused to wonder why some people in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s seem so mentally sharp that they could rival someone half their age? If that kind of enduring mental clarity feels out of reach, or like something only a lucky few are born with, you're not alone. There's a persistent belief that once we hit 65, our brains are on a one-way decline. But what if that assumption is steering us wrong? I invite you to look at your current understanding of staying sharp and be open to a hidden truth about the way our brain's synapses grow and strengthen. This overlooked secret can transform how you feel, think, and experience each day in your golden years. One challenge many older adults face is the gradual fog that creeps into daily life. Forgetting names, misplacing keys, or simply feeling less alert than before. We might chalk it up to normal aging, never questioning whether there's more we can do. And that's exactly why this conversation is so important. Having a healthy, active brain doesn't just mean remembering where we left our reading glasses. It means feeling confident in conversations, excited about trying new things, and ready to take on small but meaningful adventures without being held back by mental fatigue. Imagine engaging with your loved ones without straining to recall details or tackling your favorite crossword puzzle with that satisfying sense of mental sharpness. Good cognitive health can infuse day-to-day life with a renewed spark, turning routine tasks into an opportunity to learn and grow. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore 4 key insights that many seniors overlook when it comes to synaptic health, how brain cells connect and communicate. Each point might surprise you, especially if you've been following the usual advice about how to age gracefully. But rest assured, all of these strategies respect your life experience and work with the abilities you have now. By the end, you'll see a path to renewed curiosity and excitement about each new day, along with practical ways to strengthen your neural connections. None of this is about chasing impossible standards or promising that aging comes without any challenges. Instead, it's about discovering realistic, doable changes that can make a noticeable difference in how you think, feel, and interact with the world. A lifetime of wisdom has taught you that true change rarely happens overnight. The same applies to brain health. But gradual, consistent efforts can yield incredible results, especially once you focus on the secret factor that too many seniors overlook. And while I'm not a replacement for medical advice, I've seen countless older adults reinvigorate their minds by applying these very principles. If you've been feeling a bit stuck or fearful that mental decline is inevitable, let this be a turning point that offers both hope and actionable next steps. So let's embark on this investigation together, like health detectives uncovering a long-lost clue. By shining a light on these 4 overlooked areas, we can expose the misconceptions that hold so many back, while opening doors to a sharper, more vibrant mind. If you find this topic resonates with you, feel free to share your thoughts or questions. After all, part of staying sharp is staying curious, so let's keep that spark of curiosity alive. Have you ever been told that daily crossword puzzles or brain games are all you need to keep mentally fit? Many people believe that sticking to these familiar routines is enough. While they're certainly better than no mental stimulation at all, the real power in forging healthier brain synapses often lies in engaging with new, even slightly uncomfortable experiences. There's a common misconception that older adults shouldn't push themselves to learn new things. Maybe we're told we're too old to start now, or that it might be too frustrating to adopt a fresh hobby later in life. But that outdated view can short-circuit our neural potential. Take Richard, who is 73. For years, he did the same routine every morning. Woke up, read the newspaper, solved the crossword, and then watched his usual TV programs. He felt he was doing his part to stay sharp, but over time, he noticed that certain memories still slipped away. Instead of giving up, he decided to challenge himself by learning to play the ukulele, something he had never tried before. The first few weeks were filled with fumbling fingers and missed chords, but as his skill improved, Richard noticed that he was recalling lyrics more easily and feeling more alert throughout the day. His focus improved not just for music, but for everyday tasks. This shift happened because learning a new skill activates fresh neural pathways. Like a muscle responding to unfamiliar exercises, the brain thrives on novelty. If picking up a musical instrument doesn't appeal to you, there are many other ways to step outside your comfort zone. Perhaps you can experiment with a foreign language app, try a new style of cooking, or even learn basic computer skills. The key is embracing activities that feel a little bit beyond your normal routine. Brain research suggests that mental flexibility and curiosity go hand in hand. By adding variety to your daily habits, you're effectively telling your brain, I still have growing to do. That message encourages synaptic connections to form, strengthen, and adapt. Emotionally, the sense of accomplishment you'll get from seeing progress in a brand new skill can be a wonderful boost. Physically, pushing your brain to try something new helps slow the decline in areas like memory recall and problem solving. And no, this doesn't mean you have to be perfect at your chosen activity. The mere act of challenging yourself can spark the growth you need. In practical terms, you can set simple goals. If you decide to learn piano, start with 10 minutes a day, focusing on small, measurable milestones. If you aim to try new recipes, find 1 or 2 dishes each week that introduce you to ingredients you haven't used before. Think of it as an adventure for your mind, a detective's mission to seek out fresh opportunities. By continuously seeking novelty, you'll break through the biggest misconception that mental decline is unstoppable after a certain age. Instead, you'll discover that your brain is remarkably adaptable when given the right signals. This single step, introducing new challenges, opens the door for greater mental agility, better problem-solving skills, and a deeper sense of engagement with life. Before moving on, reflect on one new hobby or practice you've been curious about. It might be your secret key to unlocking that extra spark of cognitive vitality. We often brush off changes in sleep patterns as part of the aging process, telling ourselves that older people just don't sleep as much. However, the idea that seniors require far less rest and can simply power through with minimal shut-eye is misleading. Good sleep is one of the most critical yet overlooked components of healthy brain functioning. Without it, even the best mental exercises and nutritional habits may fall short, because our synapses do a lot of heavy lifting at night, repairing, resetting, and consolidating what we've learned during the day. Consider Beverly, who is 77 and had always prided herself on not needing much sleep. She would stay up late, then wake before the sun rose, often running on just 5 hours a night. She noticed increasing moments of forgetfulness and moodiness, attributing them to the natural downsides of getting older. Eventually, her grandson, who was studying psychology, suggested she prioritize sleep more. Beverly began going to bed an hour earlier and experimented with gentle evening routines like a warm bath or a calming herbal tea. At first, she found it difficult to change her long-established habits. But within a few weeks, she was waking up more refreshed, her memory lapses decreased noticeably, and she felt more emotionally balanced. During restful sleep, especially the deeper stages, your brain washes away waste products that build up during daily activities. This cleansing process helps preserve the integrity of your synapses. By missing out on quality sleep, you're depriving yourself of one of nature's simplest and most powerful tools for cognitive maintenance. If you struggle with getting enough rest, there are practical strategies to explore. Maintain a consistent bedtime, avoid caffeine later in the day, and turn off bright screens at least an hour before bed. For those who find it tough to sleep through the night, considering short, planned rest periods during the day might help. If issues like sleep apnea or chronic insomnia are concerns, a conversation with your healthcare provider can open doors to solutions that fit your situation. It's important to realize that solid sleep isn't a luxury, it's a cornerstone for mental sharpness. Emotionally, being well-rested can reduce feelings of irritability or mild depression, which often accompany sleep deprivation. Physically, adequate rest improves balance and reaction times, reducing the risk of falls. From a cognitive standpoint, consistent sleep allows your brain to embed new information more securely and manage emotional stress better. If you find yourself downplaying the importance of sleep, remind yourself that this isn't just about feeling rested. It's about preserving and enhancing the neural pathways that keep you engaged in life. Before we explore the next strategies, pause and think about your sleep habits. Could you make small changes this week to improve them? If so, share what you plan to adjust. Sometimes simply voicing our intentions can help us follow through. While we're on this quest to bolster brain health, let's take a brief moment to check in. So far, we've explored how embracing new challenges and prioritizing sleep can protect and even strengthen our synapses. Which of these resonates with you the most so far? Feel free to talk about your experiences. When we learn from each other, we build a supportive community that enriches everyone's journey. Another often misunderstood aspect of brain health is how interconnected our minds are with our emotions. Many older adults think that seeking out emotional connection or maintaining social ties is simply nice to have, but not essential for cognitive well-being. The misconception here is that friendships and community engagements are mostly about fighting loneliness. While that's certainly important, the surprising truth is that emotional and social interactions can literally help reshape your synapses in positive ways. Picture Stella, who at 80 found herself withdrawing from family gatherings. She felt that younger relatives had different interests, and she assumed they wouldn't want to hear her stories. Over time, her lack of interaction made her feel even more isolated, and she began noticing greater difficulty concentrating. Everything turned around when Stella's niece encouraged her to share weekly coffee chats via video call. At first, Stella was reluctant. Technology can be intimidating, but she soon found that discussing topics she cared about and learning from her niece's perspective sparked a sense of curiosity and connection. Within months, her mood lifted, and she was participating in neighborhood meetups again. She felt mentally clearer, less anxious, and far more optimistic. Emotional and social engagement stimulates the brain's reward centers, releasing chemical messengers like dopamine, which helps reinforce new synaptic connections. Even brief interactions can boost mental agility, especially when conversations challenge you to articulate your thoughts or remember details from the past. It's as if every meaningful chat or shared laugh is a mini workout for your brain's communication network. The key here is to move beyond superficial small talk. Engaging in deeper conversations or collaborative activities, like planning a small event or learning a new game together, forces the brain to form new connections. If you live alone or mobility is an issue, technology can be a lifeline. Many seniors are turning to online communities to discuss shared interests, whether it's knitting, gardening, or local history. It might feel daunting at first, but learning the basics of a video chat platform or joining a virtual forum can open up a world of social opportunities. Emotional well-being is also closely tied to how our brains process stress. Feeling connected and supported often helps reduce harmful levels of stress hormones that can degrade our neural architecture over time. In practical terms, this means scheduling regular calls with loved ones, setting up a weekly game night if possible, or joining a local senior community group. Even a phone conversation where you discuss a recent movie or a new recipe can ignite meaningful cognitive engagement. Emotionally, it reminds you that you're valued, giving a sense of purpose and a reason to stay mentally active. If you've been assuming that being less social is just the norm as we age, think again. Each connection is a chance to keep your brain's circuit board lively and adaptable. Now, you might be wondering, what if my mobility is limited, or I'm not comfortable attending group events in person? That's perfectly okay. Everyone has different comfort levels and physical abilities. Focus on what's realistic for you, whether it's an online forum, a simple phone call, or having a socially distant conversation outdoors. This step is about recognizing that emotional engagement isn't frivolous. It's fuel for your neural growth. If you could schedule one extra social interaction this week, who would you reach out to? It might surprise you how much that one conversation energizes your mind. For our final piece of the puzzle, we need to consider a factor that often gets overlooked: the interplay between physical movement and brain function. The age-old belief that mental tasks are all we need for a healthy mind is incomplete. In reality, staying physically active, even with gentle forms of exercise, can supercharge the growth and maintenance of your brain synapses. Many older adults believe that exercise is primarily about losing weight or keeping joints flexible. While those are valid reasons, the deeper truth is that movement increases blood flow to the brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients that help synapses thrive. Look at Frank, age 70, who was initially skeptical about how taking a daily walk could improve his memory. He thought, walking is for my heart, not my mind. But soon after he started a modest routine, just 20 minutes around the block with a few stretches, He noticed changes in his overall alertness. He found it easier to recall names during his weekly card game, and his ability to stay focused on conversations improved. Over time, Frank began adding a bit of gentle strength training under his doctor's guidance, which further sharpened his mental clarity. He felt more energized and, to his surprise, less stressed. This mental boost happens because exercise helps regulate chemicals like BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which supports the growth and survival of neurons. If you're dealing with physical limitations, keep in mind that even small actions can make a big difference. If standing for a walk isn't feasible, there are chair exercises that can safely elevate your heart rate. Moving your arms in circles, lifting light weights, or practicing seated yoga are fantastic ways to promote circulation and engage your muscles. The key is consistency and mindful movement. You don't have to become a marathon runner to reap cognitive rewards. Even a gentle routine done daily can awaken your brain in surprising ways. In terms of emotional benefits, regular movement can boost mood and reduce anxiety, both of which directly impact cognitive function. It's easier to concentrate and retain new information when you're not weighed down by stress or low energy. Physically, better blood flow and muscle tone also support everyday tasks, granting you a sense of independence and reducing the risk of falls. To implement this practically, consider what you can realistically do each day. If walking outside is an option, start with 5 minutes and gradually increase. If that's not possible, look up simple chair exercises you can do while watching TV. The key is to make it part of your routine, just like brushing your teeth. By connecting regular movement with the idea of synapse health, you'll stay motivated. Think of it this way. Every time you move, you're telling your brain, I still need you at full capacity. Keep those connections strong. Before we wrap up our detective work, how might you fit a bit more movement into your daily routine? Whether it's standing up more often, pacing while you chat on the phone, or even turning on a favorite song and doing a seated dance, each action sends fresh blood and nutrients to your brain, fortifying those precious synapses. We've covered a lot of ground, examining how novelty, quality sleep, emotional engagement, and consistent movement can all bolster the health of your brain synapses. If you're feeling a sense of excitement or even a bit overwhelmed, remember that this is normal when you discover something new and meaningful. The urgency to act is real, but it doesn't have to come from a place of fear. Instead, let it be fueled by the vision of a more fulfilling, clearer, and engaged life. Every day we put off these changes is a missed opportunity for our brains to strengthen and adapt, yet it's never too late to start. One way to begin is by picking just one area, perhaps focusing on getting better sleep, or deciding that this is the week you'll experiment with a new recipe. As you see small improvements, you'll gain momentum to tackle another area. Before you know it, you'll have integrated these strategies into your daily routine. The transformation might appear subtle at first. Maybe you realize you remembered a name at your family gathering, or you solved a more challenging crossword puzzle than usual. Over time, these small victories build confidence and a sense of control over your own aging process. That sense of agency is incredibly powerful. Instead of dreading the passing of years, you can welcome them as opportunities to keep growing and thriving. If you're ready to dive deeper, consider sharing these insights with a friend or family member so you have someone to exchange ideas with. You could also bring up these strategies at your next medical checkup. Ask your healthcare provider how you can tailor them to your specific needs, especially if you're managing chronic conditions or mobility issues. The goal is never to replace professional guidance, but to complement it with proactive, everyday habits. When you feel supported by both your social circle and medical professionals, you create a robust safety net for your cognitive health. So where do you go from here? If you want a gentle start, try introducing a new type of puzzle or short game tonight, maybe something you've never tried before. Then plan a consistent bedtime routine, even if it's just 15 minutes earlier than you're used to. Next, pencil in a social connection, whether it's a phone call or a walk with a neighbor. Finally, find a simple movement routine that you can stick to, even if it's just a few minutes a day. If you feel inspired to go further, you can do all of these in unison. But remember, even small steps can lead to remarkable changes. Now, if you found these insights valuable, there are a few ways to keep the momentum going. You could jot down your own goals or share this video with a friend who might benefit. If you want to stay connected, consider leaving a comment about which area you plan to focus on first, or subscribing for more content that helps you make the most of your golden years. The important thing is to keep seeking knowledge and taking intentional actions. The power to shape your brain's future isn't in someone else's hands. It's in yours. Aging doesn't have to be a passive descent. It can be an active, inspiring journey where every day you wake up and continue to grow, learn, and connect. No matter where you stand at this moment, I want you to remember that your brain is far more adaptable than you may think. Each fresh challenge you tackle, each restful night you enjoy, every warm conversation you share, and each step you take in movement is a vote for a more resilient mind. You deserve the benefits that come from taking those extra steps. After all, with age comes wisdom, and with wisdom comes the ability to shape our lives in meaningful ways. You've already gathered so much knowledge through the years. Now it's time to harness that wisdom to cultivate a vibrant mind that continues to serve you well. Here's to celebrating the ongoing journey of discovery and growth, no matter your age.